Happy 2023, everyone. Can you believe it? The new year is always a great time to reflect on the past year, and each year people will make resolutions with the hope of sticking to them throughout the new year. But as we all know, that can be very difficult. You're probably seeing on your social media feeds, influencers have joined in by sharing their resolutions for the new year, which can inspire viewers to do the same. Hi, everyone. I'm Tamika Bickham. I'm your host for today's discussion, coming to you live from the Baptist Health Newsroom. And of course, we have with us today three experts from the Baptist Health family to talk all about New Year's resolutions that have gone viral on TikTok. I'd like to welcome Dr. Yanut Albu, internal medicine physician with Baptist Health Primary Care. I'd also like to welcome Lucette Telemas, registered dietitian at Baptist Health, and Manuela Rodriguez, behavioral health specialist with Baptist Health as well. Pleasure to have you all, and thanks for being here, and welcome to 2023.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. Good to see you. All right, before we dive into today's subject, I want to remind our viewers to go ahead and drop your comments, your questions below throughout the segment. Of course, we are here for you and happy to answer any questions you may have. Now, let's go ahead and get started. Lucette, let's start with one of the most common New Year's resolutions. I know I've made this one probably every year since the beginning of time. Losing weight, starting a new diet, eating healthier, or something along those lines. We've all heard of the common diets such as keto or vegan, but the Mediterranean diet is all over TikTok. Let's take a look.
Okay, so I'm finally home. I want to go over what I got, but I didn't get any protein because I do have a lot at home. If I were to get protein, I would have chosen leaner sources like chicken breast, chicken thighs, wild-caught seafood, and red meat to eat on occasion. All right, let's get into it.
All right, Lucette, there we saw it. All about the Mediterranean diet and what that influencer eats in her diet. So what are your thoughts on the Mediterranean diet? Should people be following this trend?
So the Mediterranean diet trend, I think, is a trend that should stay around because the Mediterranean way of eating is actually a healthy eating pattern. It's not a set diet. There's not one set way to follow it. It's a healthy dietary pattern that's rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, legumes, olive oil, and herbs and spices. And then in moderation, you see some animal proteins, you see seafood, twice a week, the fish, and then you see limited red meat and sweets. And what I like about it is that it's not restrictive. You know, red meat and sweets, it's still okay to have, but so we're not completely restricting them. But we want to focus on the stuff that we want in abundance, and that's the plant foods, right? So I like it because it's not restrictive. It is as rated the #1 diet. So I think it's a great dietary pattern that should stick around.
Awesome. I love that. And Dr. Albu, for you, there's been a recent movement, if you will, on social media called being sober curious, which means some people might want to cut back on their alcohol intake this year or cut it out altogether. Take a look.
Thinking about taking a break from drinking, this video is for you. I'm Tori, and I'm currently doing 100 days without alcohol or coffee, so I can attest to what happens when you quit alcohol. This one's huge. After 1 week, and really after 3 or 4 days for me, your sleep quality shoots through the roof. It's amazing. Alcohol may make you feel tired, but it's this quality sleep that you're missing out on. Your skin 100% can attest. After 10 days, my skin was looking better than it did even 5 or 10 years ago. I'm at about the 1 month mark now, and I have to say this is where it feels like the deeper psychological changes are happening. My performance at work has improved, and my anxiety is essentially zero, which is huge for me.
Dr. Albu, want to hear your thoughts on that. Can you tell us about the benefits for on the body about cutting out alcohol?
Yes, definitely. So, Tamika, everybody, I'm a big fan of everything in moderation. Alcohol in moderation, anything in moderation, in terms of diet, whatever it is. So, in terms of alcohol, in moderation, you basically prevent your body from being robbed of essential nutrients, especially the B complex vitamins, folic acid, You help yourself with improved sleep. You lower your blood pressure. For people that are more prone to addiction, you look at your family history. Do you have any addiction in your family history? You can definitely change the course of your life by kind of just paying attention to how much you're consuming, what you're consuming. As somebody that's worked with addiction medicine patients in the past for years, I can tell you firsthand, it can become a problem very quickly without you necessarily noticing it. So a lot of different things, family aspects, improve social life in terms of interpersonal relationships with family members, more energy. Some people that binge drink, you if you stop it, you'll start noticing shedding weight. You could easily consume like 600-700 calories in a weekend just by binge drinking and in the form of empty calories. So am I on board with it? Absolutely.
And that absolutely plays into, the last video we just saw with the Mediterranean diet, everything in moderation. We're all just coming off of this holiday season where, we might not have been eating and drinking in moderation, right? We're gathering with friends. So this is definitely a good time of year to kind of have that reset and kind of get everything recalibrated back into moderation. So Lucette, following up here, as a nutrition expert, are there any benefits you would add? And also, do you have any tips for people who may be trying to cut out alcohol completely this new year?
Right. So just a reminder that our body does not need alcohol, but yeah, alcohol does provide calories. So they can be seen as those empty calories from a nutrition standpoint. So cutting back, you'll see especially that improved energy, and the collateral benefit of having the energy means you might have the energy and time to exercise and get better quality sleep. So that's all a great aspect of this sober curious movement. As far as tips for going sober curious, mocktails, I love seeing, I think mocktails are also trending now. I love seeing that there's an alternative option for those that are sober curious and those just looking to cut back on their alcohol intake. My only precaution with the mocktails is they are very fun, but they could be high in sugar. So we want to be watchful of that added sugar, choosing the club soda and watching, there could be splashes of juice in there and that's fine, but just making sure they're not too sugary.
Yep. I'm so glad you made that point because those mocktails can be fun. I've been seeing those trending
Yes.
online as well. And I'm like, I like this, but they can certainly be sugary. So I kind of like to take a natural, a lemon, a lime, add a squeeze there to my water and, spice it up that way. Thank you. Now, Manuela, I also want to follow up with you as many have opened up about how alcohol has affected their mental health. So
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. Speaking of mental health, conversations about mental health have become more and more important, especially after these past couple of years. So because of that, working on your mental health is a resolution, it seems, many more people are trying to accomplish. So influencers have been sharing their experiences with meditation, with journaling, and incorporating a healthy routine into their daily lives. Let's take a look at this video.
Bright light, flashing. Fresh out the tomb like I'm Lazarus. Hop on the beat, I'm spazzing. Got them in shot like anaphylactic. Ay. They wanna party on crashing. When I pull up my little shawty like that's him. Like with his source, I'm tapped in. Whole new world.
Now, Manuela, what benefits are there to meditating and starting a new overall health routine and also sticking to it?
Yes. Starting meditation, journaling, any activity that you can use to reflect and bring awareness to the new year will improve your health, right? And it's starting small, building those routines as part of your daily habits, right? If you want to start meditating, maybe an hour a day for a whole week, you might do it for the first week, but then come the second week, it may be maybe too much for your schedule or it's impacting your work, right? So it's looking at how can I incorporate this health routine as part of my daily living, right? Can I wake up in the morning 5 or 10 minutes and implementing some breath work, some time to reflect, bring awareness to the start of my day? Or if you enjoy maybe right before going to bed, reflecting on the day, journaling right before going to bed to bring those positive thoughts right before, a good night's rest. And sticking to it, right, seems to be the common thing. We start full force January, and then come February, March, we're like, wait, what about those, routines? So sticking to it, it's about making it fun and part of your everyday, not something that's adding more, burden or longer period of time during the day. Make it fun and part of something that is in your everyday schedule or everyday routine.
Absolutely. Great points. I love that you mentioned sticking to it, because I think most of us make these resolutions with the intention of sticking to it. But if we're saying, hey, we need to do an hour of meditation each day, that might not be realistic. And starting with 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And sometimes it's those little things each day that add up to be big things over time. And they don't have to be a big, kind of grandiose type of thing that we do for ourselves each day.
Yeah, you can start with 5-10 minutes, right? Building it in, getting more comfortable and familiar with the health routine, right? Jumping into an hour of CrossFit versus maybe a 15-20 minute jog out in your community where you don't have to drive to the gym. So really starting with making it part of something that you're looking forward to, you're excited about, it feels good, and that may help stick to it.
Absolutely. Now, Lucette, this next one's for you. TikTok has had its fair share in creating health fads. The latest one, get ready for this one, guys, is eating sea moss. It might not sound like the latest tastiest trend, but this is the latest fad to take over TikTok. Let's watch.
Yum, yum, yum. I don't want to do this. I can't. I thought I was gonna thug it out today. I can't. It's just gonna be a little hard for me.
All right, everyone. As we can see from that video, sea moss might not taste the best, but for some people, the benefits outweigh the taste. So, Lucette, should people be eating sea moss? I mean, are there actual health benefits to this?
So my first thought is, why eat something that you don't enjoy? Because most people that participate in this trend of trying the sea moss don't seem to be enjoying it. So we'll start with that. No, you don't have to eat something you don't enjoy just because you think it's healthy. There's definitely enough healthy foods out there to make up a healthy eating pattern. We talked about the Mediterranean diet being one of those patterns. Now, when it comes to sea moss, it comes from the sea. We do love things that come from the sea or grow from the ground. So that's why it's full of it has a high nutrient profile. It has a bunch of vitamins and minerals. The true thing is that it's in trace amounts. So it's not significantly high amounts of vitamins and minerals, but it does have a very large variety of vitamins and minerals. It does have a high amount of iodine. So for those people that do try the trend, be mindful that it does that might be an issue for some people because it is high in iodine, and it is a high risk for potentially being contaminated with heavy metals depending on where from the sea moss was sourced.
Mhm.
So environmental pollution and where it's sourced. So when it comes to any type of supplement, there's always the concerns of its safety and its efficacy. Like, does it actually work for the reason that you're taking it? So if you're just looking to be healthier, you don't have to jump on the sea moss trend. There's definitely enough, fruits and vegetables and spices that we can focus on to get our health benefits. So like Manuela was saying, adding these little healthy habits to our day is great. Sea moss does not have to be one of them.
Great tips and great information there, Lucette. Thank you so much for that. Glad I can check that one off my list.
Tamika, I want to add something
Yeah.
to that, because it's important when we see influencers, right? What is their background? What, are they licensed? Where's their research, right? So it's really important to make sure to verify where this information is coming from. Do your own research, as Lucette was saying. Look and make sure that it really, it doesn't taste good. It may have the nutrition, some of the things that they're sharing might sound like it can benefit you, but really making sure that it's right for you and for your body. So I just wanted to make sure that we verify who we're listening to, especially our influencers.
No, Absolutely. Great, great advice, because TikTok is not, our primary care physician, our medical professionals that are trained. So if you have any questions about that, you should definitely speak directly to your doctor. So
Completely agree. I
knew I was
get
coming
sent
back to you
TikToks,
next.
family members, any people send me TikToks all the time, and I'm like, why did I
Where?
not learn this in medical school? Like, where have I been? Interesting. Gotta be careful with what's out there.
And you are right on cue, Dr. Albu, because this next one's for you. We've seen a lot of these TikTok health trends are also focused on gut health. So here's one video that sums up that a lot. Take a look.
So here are 3 of my favorite gut health tips as a nutritionist. I love the Vive Organics immunity shots because they use organic ingredients, and ginger and turmeric are amazing for the gut. Tongue scrapers remove so many toxins and bacteria from the mouth so you don't digest them. Lastly, breathing exercises will help calm your nervous system, allowing your gut to thrive.
All right. So for those who just saw that video, I want to do a quick recap, because she mentioned taking an immunity shot, which has ginger and turmeric, tongue scraping, and also breathing exercises for gut health. What's your take?
So anybody that claims they know everything about the gut microbiome is lying, first of all. I mean, we're just beginning to scratch the surface on what is the gut microbiome, what organisms are part of the microbiome. There's a ton of research going on nowadays, but we're just beginning to scratch the surface. So nobody's an expert in the gut microbiome. Second of all, are there things that have proven to show some help? Yes, there are. Diets less in processed foods, yes. But things like shots of turmeric and things like this, there's really no data to support it. Things like tongue scraping. Okay, you scrape your tongue, you close your mouth. Again, same bacteria that was on your tongue to begin with before you scraped it it's the same thing. I mean, come on, guys, you got to come up with better content than that. Come on. What else? I mean, if I were to give you some advice, how do you prevent the gut microbiome from working against you? Well, first of all, it's a symbiotic relationship, so you want to nurture it. Avoid antibiotics if you can. Obviously, if they're prescribed by a licensed physician, then go ahead and take them. But you want to try to avoid the antibiotics at all costs, because you're hurting your microbiome by taking them. So you have to be wary. Number 2, probiotics. Probiotics are really big nowadays. I'm a huge advocate of taking probiotics, especially in our elderly folks there have been some studies nowadays that the elderly folks, you tend to have a less of a diverse microbiome. This is just based on sequencing PCR analysis. There's less microorganisms, still a lot, obviously, millions and millions and millions, but less. So taking probiotics helps differentiate your microbiome slightly more, and keeps your body a little bit healthier, more energetic. The third thing you could possibly do is there's prebiotics. So that's in the forms of foods. There's different types of grains. There's like I said, less processed foods, nuts, things like that that are healthy to incorporate in your diets. Yeah, that's kind of just my little spiel. I could go on and on about this.
I can too.
Yeah, I do want to ask about the breathing exercises. I mean, I was surprised to see that as tied in with the gut health.
I mean, listen, any kind of stress is going to have a negative effect on everything, our mind, our body, on everything. Do I believe that decreasing your stress level is it plausible that it will affect your microbiome in a positive way? I agree with it. Are there any randomized control studies that say so? I haven't heard one. If anybody here has heard of one, please send it my way. I would love to read it.
Manuela, were you going to chime in there?
Well, yeah, it's really keeping in mind that a lot of these techniques, the breathing, right, you're less stressed, you will probably make healthier choices, right? So it all comes together nicely if you're, eating whole foods, whole grains, right? Nice and well-balanced meal. Your whole body will benefit from it. So it's taking into account that it's all of these little habits that we're building together for a healthier lifestyle. but it's not just like one magic pill or, one magic step. Again, if we have the magic step, please send it our way.
I would love to know. I'll
Right?
be first in line to sign up for that magic step.
But it really takes small steps every day, building a healthier lifestyle and finding what works for you. It may come more naturally for some of us. Others, it may take a little bit more support. So reaching out to a dietitian, a registered dietitian, reaching out to a gut specialist, right? Making sure that we talk to the qualified professionals for the concerns that you're having. If it's emotional well-being, physical well-being, gut well-being, nutritional well-being, right? Making sure that we're going to the support that we need and the resources that are available. Although these may seem quick and easy, they might have other effects on us.
Absolutely.
Have to chime in once you say, fiber. So, there's not one magic food either as far as gut health. There's not one magic probiotic. There's so many different, strains of probiotics. So as far as getting probiotics from your foods, that's always a very safe bet as well. I'm a big fan of yogurts, of course, watching, not as much sugar added into the yogurts, or even things like kefir, and fiber from any food, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. A lot of these New Year's resolutions include cutting carbs, and that's not a good idea for gut health because we're cutting one of the main sources of whole grains. So it doesn't also mean to go overboard. We started off with the word by Dr. Albu of moderation. So, our whole grains do provide a great amount of fiber, which is great for our gut health, and everything's okay in moderation.
Absolutely. Again, we want to be able to stick to it, right? That's our theme of the day. Manuela, going back to another small step or small thing that people can do that's trending on TikTok, we've been seeing more influencers sharing that journaling is a great resource for them, not just for accountability and consistency with resolutions, but for their mental health. Let's take a look.
It's journal prompt day. So the journal prompt for today is actually going to help us get ready for 2023. Can you believe it? I want you to spend some time writing about 3 short-term goals and 1 long-term goal.
Now, Manuela, is journaling as helpful as TikTok influencers claim it to be?
Yes. Journaling in therapy is used frequently as, in the meantime between sessions, right? It's a solution focused technique to have individuals write down, reflect, bring that awareness, right? That it also can be associated with meditation or other routines, healthy routines. But journaling can offer you the opportunity to externalize what's going on inside, right? And once you see it maybe written on a piece of paper, but a lot of what influencers mention is also the prompts, right? To help guide it, where you write down 2 lines. I journaled, done. I journaled for today. It's not working. It's not for me. But if you have prompts that guide the questions as to what's working, what are some solutions that can help me, being intentional about the technique, right? So it's not just open the journal, write something down, close it, you've journaled for the day, but it's really being intentional. And like we've mentioned throughout the presentation, it's building into a habit. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't journaled, right? I can't believe I haven't written anything down, and you're not really using it to disconnect or reflect, we would probably talk about maybe using another technique instead, or starting in small doses. Starting.
Yeah, no, I love that. Something that I am committing to in 2023, because journaling has been a little bit more difficult for me. So I like that you brought up the prompts, is at the end of the day, writing down what I've accomplished that day. Because I think a lot of us, whether it's anxiety or our mind going at the end of the day and thinking about that long to-do list, which can really build up a lot of different feelings inside of us, we're always thinking about what's next instead of reflecting on, look at what I got accomplished. So that's something I'm trying to be committed to. Do you like that approach to journaling?
Yes. So it's, what have I accomplished? What are the solutions, the positive thinking?
Yeah.
Because we can automatically start journaling and what didn't work, what's not working, what I didn't accomplish, right? And you are externalizing it, but we want to be intentional and use journaling for that, using those prompts to kind of guide your thoughts in a more positive direction. And if it's right before going to bed, you have that added benefit that you can have a good night's rest, and it kind of gives you that extra, snooze.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Albu, we've got another one for you. There's a new term coined by influencers on TikTok called artery scrubbing. Some claim there are fibers in certain heart healthy foods that can clean out your arteries. Let's watch this video.
Now, no further ado, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to grab it for you. And these little green okras, when you actually split the okra open, you'll see these little seeds in it. But more importantly than that, you're going to see these little hairs in there, like these little fibers. Those are the things that get into your arteries and scrub them all up. Now,
all right, Dr. Albu, got to hear your thoughts on this one. Is this true? Are there certain foods such as okra that patients should be eating to help clean out their arteries? And do we even need to clean out our arteries?
So the first thought that comes to mind is, are we on an episode of Mythbusters here? Because that's a myth. I mean, first of all, I've never heard of something called artery scrubbing. I've never been taught that. Where was I for that lesson, right? But no, there's no food that artery scrubs. There's no hairs of vegetables that can scrub, that it could go in and scrub the inner lining of an artery. It just doesn't exist. I wish it would exist. And, that would make my job a lot easier. It would make everybody's job a lot easier. But it doesn't exist. Does okra in particular have certain properties to it that are helpful for like decreasing inflammation in the body, antioxidants, and things like this? Yes, it does. Does it decrease, just like any other vegetable? A diet in these vegetables, does it decrease your LDL? Does it decrease your triglycerides? If you have a diet that's higher in these types of foods, yes, that is true, because you're replacing the unhealthy foods. But as an okra myself, I typically like my okra breaded and fried. So I'm getting, sorry, I do. I really do. I love my okra breaded and fried. So I'm taking a vegetable, I'm breading it and frying it. So I'm taking away the antioxidant properties, and just kind of like evening the playing field. No, if you're gonna intake these like okra or vegetables in general, there are certain ways to intake them so you could get the maximum beneficial properties from them. And that's not frying or like breading them and frying them, which is what I like to do. So artery scrubbing, myth, in my opinion.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Artery scrubbing, myth. Thank you. All right, now, new year. What often happens with the new year? Sometimes we get sick. No one likes getting sick, especially at the start of a new year. So finding ways to protect yourself and build up your immune system is all the rage on social media, especially when COVID came around, right? So I've heard of taking emergency to help shorten a cold, but what about drinking oregano oil? Let's watch.
And it is the biggest immune health hack ever. You literally just add 4 drops of oil of oregano into water in the morning. And a lot of people in the health and wellness profession literally refer to it as a natural antibiotic. It really helps kill any bacteria and germs. As soon as I think anything is coming on, I'll automatically start doing this. And most of the time, I don't end up getting sick.
Lucette, I want to hear from you on this one. Are there any benefits to oregano oil?
Okay, so what do vitamin C and oregano have in common? They are both really powerful antioxidants. But what don't they have in common? The research. So we do have evidence to show that vitamin C can help reduce the length and severity of a common cold for some people. It does not prevent you from catching a cold. So we can talk about that separately. But if you do catch a cold, it may help. It's not also proven to work for everyone. There is also an vitamin C of 2,000 milligrams per day. I throw that out there because some of these supplements are really high in vitamin C, and once you pass 2,000 milligrams, you can get some GI upset, stomach aches, and even diarrhea. So as far as oregano oil, we don't have the research to show that like vitamin C as far as reducing the length and severity of a common cold. When it comes to oregano, what we're learning about it is it's an antioxidant, it's antimicrobial, it's anti-inflammatory. As with any supplement, though, I do use a lot of precaution just because, again, we should be wondering who made the supplement, where did it come from, is it true? Because there's very loose regulations around the supplements industry. So rather than taking another oil or pill, I always try to focus on diet first and improving our immunity through overall diet, which is shown to support that, to improve your immune function just by your overall diet, making sure you're getting in enough dietary vitamin A, C, E. There's a lot of different vitamins and minerals that are key players. There's not one magic bullet for immunity. So again, as long as if you do try the trend for oregano oil, it doesn't seem to be harmful as far as the oregano itself. However, my concerns would be where it's sourced from and who makes the supplement. So just, buy from a reputable company if possible, if you do try it, but always focus for overall immunity on your overall diet, not just one part of the diet.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. I know we've gotten to the end of our time today, but thank you for myth busting, reminding us to always not consult TikTok for our health tips and advice, and consult with our primary care physician, our doctor. Just helping us, make smaller, more achievable and attainable goals for 2023 and stick to them. As we wrap it all up, I want to ask you, can each of you give us your quick tip to give to patients for sticking to their New Year's resolutions and health goals as we all get ready to take on 2023?
Sure. My quick tip, it's a lifestyle change, not a diet, not a fad. Just change your lifestyle.
Yep, it's making those small changes in our daily lives and also making small goals, which is specific, measurable. Are they attainable? And is it timely, right? Really, describing what it is that you want to accomplish and then slowly building it into your daily life.
And when it comes to healthy eating, these same tips apply. So starting with can you eat one more vegetable a day? I'll leave it that simple can you just eat one more serving, preferably not fried okra, but
Oh, come on, that's so good.
in moderation once in a while. But reducing fried foods, having more unprocessed, choosing more unprocessed foods. And it comes down to as simple as can I eat one more vegetable a day? So everyone will have different goals with nutrition, but hopefully don't pay attention to a lot of these trends that are going out there without evidence, and stick to what we know, which can be simple at the end, just not simple to stick to.
Great insight. And again, thank you all for sharing this insight with our audience, getting us all off on the right foot for this new year, 2023. Again, Happy New Year to all of you, to our viewers. And remember, for our viewers, be sure to hit that subscribe button on our channel here to keep up with the latest health and wellness information and tips from our experts. You can also connect with us on our other social media channels. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And check out our resource blog for the latest news at baptisthealth.net/news. You'll find a link there to all episodes of the Baptist Health Talk podcast as well. On behalf of everyone at Baptist Health, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for watching and have a happy new year.
Happy New Year.